Yo, what is up YouTube? And today I'm going to be making a video game tier list. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't played, I think this is 100 games on this tier list. I have not played all these games, but I've played a lot of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and rank some of these just for a fun little video idea I had. So yeah, let's just get right into this. But the first game just coming up here being Bioshock. Wow, is that quite a game? I'll be honest, I've never actually finished Bioshock. It's a pretty complicated game, with the bosses being the big daddies. They're very hard. And I know when I played this game, I think I was like maybe 11 or 12. So the game already has that scary element that scared the fuck out of me, and then you add that element of it just being extremely difficult. I'll be honest, I didn't play it, but it was good. I did enjoy my first Bioshock experience. I think I maybe played the first 30 minutes of the game. So just based off of that, don't come at me in the comments saying, "Oh, bro, you didn't play the full game. Go fuck yourself." No, just off the little 30-minute section that I at least remember playing. I remember it's a good game. I wouldn't say it's a great game because again, I think the bosses are extremely difficult, and I think some of the game mechanics can be a little unrealistic, which kind of is very on theme with the game. But for me, it just kind of, I don't know, throws me out of it. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I think it's a good game. I don't, you know. The next one's going to be Castlevania. I believe this is going to be the original first ever Castlevania. You already know that's a masterpiece. Castlevania is kind of like a platformer style type game where you're this I think he's like a vampire. Like I'm gonna mess this up and a Castlevania fan is gonna come at me so hard, but I think it's about a vampire slayer or a demon hunter of some type who goes in various castles and beats the shit out of demons and or vampires or something cool. It's really fun. I think the only one I played was I think they had one on the Game Boy. I believe I played that, and I think they also had one on the Nintendo DS, I believe. Not too sure. So next game here is going to be Fallout New Vegas. Wow, this is a game I've played pretty much since the day I picked it up, which was around like 2012. So about a year or two after it came out, I believe. This game was the bee's knees. I fell so in love with just the world and just exploring and just the RPG element of it, because this is the game that I would say really got me into RPGs, because I had actually played Fallout 3, and that game I think it's just a little bit less refined, and I think Fallout New Vegas just brings every single idea that they had at the time and implemented it 100%, and just brought an amazing game. So for me, this is going to be a masterpiece because you know, it's just that good, that well planned of a game. If you ever have some free time, I really encourage you to look up the behind the scenes, or it might be the making of Fallout New Vegas. I think it came in like the collector's edition or something, but they have a re-upload on YouTube. I really encourage, if you are a New Vegas fan, to go check that out. So the next one is Half-Life. I guess it's just going to be the whole franchise. I've only actually played the first Half-Life, and I don't even think it was the entire game. I think it was like a demo disc that I had, that I played on the original Xbox, not the 360, just the original Xbox. I think they had like a demo disc that they would give out either when you bought the console or at some point. I'm not too sure. It might have even been an online download somehow. But that's the only Half-Life I've actually ever played, surprisingly. But from just that, oh sorry, I grabbed Street Fighter here. From just that, we're putting in amazing, because I remember that. I think I was like 6 or 7 years old at that time. Um, I just remember the sounds, the visuals were just incredible and terrifying, as they aim to be. So next one is going to be Brawl. I'm not sure if this is a specific Brawl. It looks like that's the one that came out for the Wii U, I believe. Or that could have just been for the Wii. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm just going to go as like the Smash series. That's just going to be all of them from the N64 to the current one on Switch. It's an amazing series. They haven't dropped the bag once. I've never played the Wii U one, but I'll be honest, right here, with what they got currently, current gen, yeah, they're not missing. They got a really good thing going, and yeah, I think really, if I'm being honest with you, Smash is just going to be one of those series that just has solidified itself in gaming history probably forever, just because it's so good, and they have such a Just so many good things going for them with Smash that I really don't see how they could drop the ball in that series, quite literally ever. So, and the same goes for all the ones that are pretty much going to go on Masterpiece. These are pretty much series that I don't really see how any game developer or publisher could really drop the ball on these series, and that one day these series won't be in that category Masterpiece. These are games that I see have solidified itself in game history probably forever. Team Fortress, I haven't played it, so we'll do that. Until Dawn, I know a lot of people actually really, really hate on Until Dawn, which actually really surprises me because I think while it does have a little bit of slow moments that aren't even the scariest, I think the story that they do tell is actually pretty good. However, the ending of this is pretty. I'll be honest, the ending is kind of does almost brick the whole game in itself because I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it's definitely what you would call bad. It's very bad. Warframe, I think Warframe is an amazing. It's a free to play game. If anyone hasn't checked out Warframe, I highly encourage it. You can get on I think Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, pretty much any platform you can game on. You can get Warframe, and I really encourage it because it's a great free to play. The only thing that you have to keep in mind about this free to play game, and which is true with a lot of free to play games that are kind of have like this story backed element to it, you are at some point going to hit a pretty big paywall in Warframe. I'm not too sure if they've kind of advanced that paywall up, but the last time I played it, I think I got to, I believe it's Mars when you hit a paywall. If they haven't updated or fixed it. So just keep that in mind. It is a very amazing game, very beautiful game that has tons of playability to it. The only problem is you will hit a paywall, and you will have to, put money into it. But I don't really think that's an overall bad thing considering the game is so good and its starting price is free out of the gate. So I think that's pretty good. Uncharted, I have not played Uncharted actually. I'm not really a big cutscene story game kind of guy, so a lot of these PlayStation exclusives that are mainly just cutscene driven, I'm not honestly too into. Yakuza, I have played very, very, very little of it, but the little I have played, the game world is probably some of the, is probably the best built gaming worlds you'll ever see in any of the Yakuza games. They're just so beautiful. The characters are all interactable. They built some really good worlds in Yakuza that I think just makes the game a great game. A lot of these games, they just have like one single factor that they do very well, like gameplay, game design, game world design, and they just nail that on the head and they just get high ranked, at least for me. Maybe some people, they had a good gaming moment on it, or a friend showed them, or they have another reason why they would list that game higher. But I'm pretty much just going off of personal experience, a little bit of game design, and a few other things. So, Battlefield 1. I've only played a few matches, but I think this would probably be the last great Battlefield, the last good Battlefield that they made. And I'll be honest, I think the multiplayer on this was a pretty big thing for a couple of years, so it's just kind of unfortunate that EA had to push out another Battlefield that kind of squandered the greatness of Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4 and other Battlefields. But I think EA and DICE, I think they can come back from all the Battlefield hate that's coming out right now. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, I only played the one on DS, but let me just say, if you don't know, pretty much the DS versions of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games that were at that time releasing on PlayStations, and I think they were even coming out for GameCube. Pretty much what the DS/handheld versions were of those games, were just really, really died down versions of the console. And I remember I would play this game for hours as a little kid. And again, that's the watered down version, if you will, of the actual game. So that's why I'm going to put that in Masterpiece, because if it could have so much playability for me as a kid with the watered down version, I mean, you gotta think it's just an amazing game all around at that point. Red Dead Redemption 2, come on now, you gotta put that up in Masterpiece. That's the story in that game alone makes it a masterpiece, but then you just add all the replayability, all the open world factors to it, and it's just what I would say probably one of the greatest games of all time. Dota, have not played it, have no interest in playing it. I would honestly put that in horrible because I've seen Dota gameplay and it just seems very tryhardy, very nerdy. Have not tried Fire Emblem. I'm not even too sure I've ever even seen Fire Emblem gameplay. Halo Reach, you already know. You already know. I mean, come on now. Halo Reach, that's a classic right there. I'm not too sure if this is supposed to be the whole Halo series. I don't imagine it is because it specifically shows Halo Reach. I remember I would just play this for hours and hours and hours with my brother. We would just play 2-player, split screen, just go around, grab a gravity hammer, and beat the shit out of each other for hours and hours and hours. So just off of that, this is a masterpiece banger of a game. The story, I did actually play like an hour and a half, I believe, of the story as a kid, and the story is pretty difficult, but the game world is beautiful, you know. So I think definitely I will go back one day and finish the Reach campaign. I need to do that actually. Sonic Mania, I'm not too exactly sure. I think that's like what all the Sonic games put together, right? I mean, come on, we just know Sonic games are amazing. They're not masterpieces. I think a lot of Sonic games are very hit or miss, but I think some of the ones that they had that came out on GameCube, and some of the earlier, like a few of the earlier ones, I think are actually very good games. So I'll put it in amazing. Street Fighter, I've only actually played one, but I personally feel like the fighting is too heavy-handed, if that makes sense. I mean, that probably makes no sense at all, but that's just my personal opinion. I feel like the fighting in Street Fighter is like almost too heavy, and just plays out too slow in my opinion. I have no idea even what that game even is. Batman Arkham City, that's a classic. That game is probably something that truly got me into that current gen of consoles, which was at the time Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. That really, really pushed me to go actually out and get one of those consoles because I seen that game and you see that gameplay, and I mean, that game graphically for the time was the top of the tier. I mean, that was literally graphic wise, that was the best of the best. I'm sure this game, and along with Arkham Asylum, got so many people into that generation of consoles. But the next up is going to be MW3. This was the first Call of Duty I completed campaign all by myself. I literally remember the night I completed this campaign. So, I mean, that should just speak for itself. It's such a memorable, insane campaign. I say memorable as in I don't actually remember anything that happens after like the first maybe hour and a half, because it is like a 6-hour, 8-hour campaign. But it is just a good campaign. The next one here is going to be Crash Bandicoot. I believe this is the racing one. I've never played it. Mass Effect, never played it. I know it is an RPG, but I'll be honest, it seems like a pretty scripted RPG. I'm not too much of a fan of those, so probably would not be into it. Final Fantasy, I've only played a little bit on the Game Boy, and the DS. I'll be honest, I'm not gonna rank it because I haven't played it in probably well over Jesus, 13, 14 years, so there's just no reason for me to try to rank that because I don't really have any special memories with that game or anything, so there's just no point. Watch Dogs, also never played. I did have a best friend who loved the Watch Dogs series, so. Uncharted, again, never played. That's a specific one. Let me just see if we have really any more memorable ones. Black Flag, come on now. If you've never played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, what are you doing? I mean, that's one where they really, really, I think, did something different with the Assassin's Creed series, and it actually worked. I think that's like the last Assassin's Creed where they tried something new, and it actually really, 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 really worked for the franchise, and actually like kind of like accelerated the franchise to that next level it needed to go. Now they're trying new stuff, and it's not really hitting as hard. But back then, Black Flag was a big console release for the Xbox One. GTA 5, I mean, come on now, we already know that's going to be a masterpiece as well. Have you ever played that story? That just speaks for itself. The online, it's there for you to do what you want with. That's what I like about the online. It's there if you like it or not. Far Cry 3, masterpiece. If you've never played that, it's one of the greatest open world games of all time. You have side quests, you have hunting, you have just so much stuff you can do. The story is a little goofy, I'll be honest, but I think for the time it came out, I think that kind of game-based story, which is kind of on tier. So I think for that time, it's not too bad. So, yeah. I think if you finish the story, you may be a little disappointed in 2022, but who knows. Fortnite, it's going to go in amazing. I think, Epic just often does do really bad things with the Fortnite brand, the Fortnite game. They just do really, really awful things, like the web shooters. Like, I know at one point they had planes. They just do really goofy stuff. So I would honestly even maybe put this just in a very good. No, yeah, no. I was gonna maybe even put that in good, but we will go ahead and keep Fortnite in very good because I do have a lot of solidified gaming moments in Fortnite, and I feel like while Epic Games does mess up a lot with the direction they should be taking Fortnite, I think they're starting to slowly get it back on. So we'll keep it there and very good. What's some other ones we want to get here before I go ahead and wrap this video up? I think that would be kind of corny to do Pac-Man. Resident Evil 4, this is going to be my first Devil Survivor horror game I ever played, so that's just automatically going to go as a masterpiece. I played this game at way too young of an age, so it was absolutely terrifying. The most terrifying thing I've ever experienced in my life. But again, I played that game at like 6 or 7, so that's probably why. The first village thing was probably fucking the most terrifying thing I've experienced in my life. Left 4 Dead 2, if you never played it, come on, what are you doing? That is, again, the Left 4 Dead series is just one of those series. It's just you have to play it and truly give it a good shot and have some good gaming moments on it to really get into it. Let's do 4 more here, 5 more. I'll do 5 more. Rainbow Six Siege. I'm gonna put it in good. I was about to go wild. I was about to wild out and put it in amazing, but no, we're gonna put it in good because I think that Ubisoft has made a lot of mistakes with this game, especially with the operator system that they have in this game. I think they've just taken it in really bad directions, almost like kind of like GTA Online status level, where they've almost kind of done unrepairable damage to the online community just via shit they've implemented over the years. I think that's kind of what Rainbow Six Siege has suffered from, where it's just kind of become this shithole. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. Fallout 4. I'm going to put this in great because Fallout 4 is actually really good. As much as people shit on it and as much as the story is kind of lacking and I don't think it's as well thought out and put together as the previous Fallouts, I do think the story is still there and it still has enough to justify buying it for the current price point it has, which is pretty much dirt cheap. I think you can actually get it for free on Game Pass, so for the current market value of it, I think it's 100% worth it to give Fallout 3 a solid playthrough. Especially, I think they have mods now. Fallout 3, we're going to go ahead and put this at amazing, just below Fallout New Vegas, because like I said, I think the people and developers at Obsidian really just kind of looked at exactly what worked for Fallout 3 and just made it 1,000,000,000% better, and then looked at what didn't work at Fallout 3 and didn't use it, or if they did use it, they made it just 1,000,000,000% better. And again, that's why Fallout New Vegas is going to be a masterpiece, but Fallout 3 is just going to be amazing because, again, it does have its moments where it can be a little goofy, if you will. So let's get maybe 2 more games. Bully, I've actually never fully complete Bully, but from what I've played maybe the first 2-3 hours. It is a very good game, has its funny moments. I think it's worth a playthrough of it. Me personally, I probably will go ahead and play through that pretty soon. So Animal Crossing, this is the one for the DS, so this is gonna be what? New Leaf, New World. I'm sorry, I'm kind of forgetting. That it actually looks like it says New Horizons, but we'll just go with Animal Crossing as a genre, right? Because pretty much the games are all generally the exact same. It's just graphically they're kind of improving over the years, right? So yeah, the Animal Crossing franchise, a masterpiece. If you've never played an Animal Crossing game, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you do like RPGs and you're just looking for something relaxing, Animal Crossing is definitely something to just pick up and give it a good try. What's some other games I want to do? We'll do one more here just to get the last game in. I want to get a real just like one that no one's expecting me to fucking do. Mario Galaxy is good, but I've never played 2, unfortunately. Biohazard, I feel like I just would have not a base take on it. We'll do Dying Light. Dying Light is going to be amazing. I think Dying Light's a really good zombie game. I think it's actually really scary. The only thing I didn't like is with the story in the open world, they didn't really navigate that too well. I feel like the navigation in this game is really, really bad. But other than that, I think it's a 9 out of 10 game. There's really nothing to complain about. It genuinely has a scary factor to it with the zombies, and then on top of that, at night they add like the screamers and stuff. If you've never played it, it is actually a really scary game, even for like people 18 plus. Like it genuinely is a game that you even I would say games like Outlast One, and a few other horror games. Like these are actually going to be scary in the modern day if you're an adult. So I highly recommend checking that out. But yeah, guys, that's going to go ahead and be the video. I hope you enjoyed this little tier list. Let me know what you would have ranked some games if I didn't pick them. Let me know what you would have ranked the games, the ones I did pick. And yeah, just let me know your overall opinions. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.